Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. And as promised yesterday, I'm back today to show you this sweet little card that I made using the new Sweet Strawberry bundle in the new Mini Occasions catalog. And this is a double Z fold, and if I turn it this way, you can see why. I'll turn it this way, you can see the double Z's. And it's really a sweet, sweet little card. And today I'm going to show you obviously how to make the fun fold, but I'm focusing more on the stamp set of this set. The stamps of this set, excuse me. And again, here it is. It is the Sweet Strawberry stamp set, and it has the coordinating strawberry builder punch. And before we get started, I do encourage you to check out my video of yesterday. If I remember, I'll try to put a link down below to show you a great tip, time-saving tip on how to stamp and punch just once, even though all of these are going to be different colors. So if I forget to put it in the link below, which I most likely will, I know myself, just check for yesterday's video, and it's a tip on how to use this. So this is the stamp set we're using. So I'm going to put that aside, and let me show you what we're going to start out with first. I have a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock, and this is cut 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 2 3/4 and at 5 1/2. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to fold it in. Let me see if my bone folder is visible. My bone folder, I'm going to give that a nice crease. And then I'm going to fold this one back. And again, my bone folder. So there's the base of my card. Now, I have another piece of paper, cardstock, excuse me, that is Old Olive. And this one is cut 3 3/4 by 9 1/4. And the score lines are the same, 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And I'm going to do the same thing. Fold it over, and then fold it back. And I have my second Z. And that's going to fit like this, okay? But we don't need this just yet, so we're going to put these aside. Now, on my card here, I've stamped on the backs here. You could use the coordinating free berry paper, but like I said, I wanted to showcase the stamp set. So I made my own background paper, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So I have a piece of this. Actually, let me tell you first. This piece here to do your stamping on is 4 by 5 1/4, and this piece here to do my stamping is 4 by 2 1/2. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to just bring in a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to bring in my foam pad, a piece of scrap paper, because I'm going to stamp off here. And with crumb cake, I'm going to ink up this image right here. Okay? And what I did to make the whole background is I first stamped in the middle, and then I just scattered the stamp all around, moving it around as I did, so that I didn't have a real noticeable pattern. I just wanted to be very varied. Okay, and I think I'll put one more set of flowers there. Okay. Now that's very nice in and of itself. It could stay this way, but I chose to color it. So to do that, I have my Stampin' Blends. I have the dark and the light Old Olive, and the dark and the light Daffodil Delight. Now, I by no means no stretch of the imagination, am I an expert on coloring. As a matter of fact, if you've followed me, you know I've mentioned it quite a few times that coloring actually gives me anxiety. So you can watch 10 different people stamp with alcohol markers and you'll see 10 different techniques. I'm just going to show you mine. So what I do is I put the ink down in 3 layers, light, dark, and then back to light. So I'm going to show you just a couple of these flowers. I'm going to work on this one right here in the middle. So I have my light Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to use the thick side. See, this is thin, this is thick. And I'm just going to color in those little flowers. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with the dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to outline the flower. Now you can't do too much at once because it is alcohol and it does dry pretty quickly. And in order to get it to blend, the whole theory behind the blending is that it needs to, you need to be able to get back to it before it's dry so you can blend it. So I'm coming in with the light again, and I'm going over it, and as I go over it, I'm just blending the light with the dark. So you can kind of see a little shadow on that. Like I said, I am by no means an expert, and the thought of doing this actually gave me a little bit of anxiety. So now I'm going to do this leaf here. And again, I'm going to come in with the thick end of my old olive, and I'm going to color the inside of the leaf. And then I'm going to come in with the thin side of the dark and staying on the inside of that brown outline, the crumb cake outline, because I do want some of that brown. I'm going to keep calling it brown. I do want some of that crumb cake to be visible. I'm just going to trace the veins. And then I'm coming back in with the light, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just pull from the edges of that leaf into the center, and that way I get a little bit of shading. And there is my leaf. Now, if you don't want to get into the whole shading thing, and especially on this project, because a lot of these colored leaves are going to be hidden by the papers that are on top of it, you can, I think it looks equally as nice if you just layer it with the light old olive. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to take this leaf here, and I'm just going to color the whole leaf in. I have a lighter look, a softer look, and I have just the brown showing up. And so here you can see the two, well, you can see it right here, the two different looks. Now the reason I liked this way was because you can see these stamps are, they have that distinctive quality to them where you get two different, you get some shading, automatic shading in there. And so I wanted to kind of mimic that with this. But if you went just like that, I think the card would look equally as nice. I don't see that that would be a problem at all. So whatever makes you less stressed. So, and I didn't do the whole thing. I did it ahead of time so that you wouldn't have to watch me do the whole thing. So here is my large one, and here is my smaller one. And now I'm going to attach those to the base of my card. Okay, so they're all colored in, and now I'm going to attach. I have my stamp and seal. I'm going to turn this over. And this is the 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white that I colored. And I'll drop that right there, center it up and drop. And now I'm going to take the piece of 4 by 2.5 and apply my Stampin' Seal to that as well. Now I want to make sure that this top and bottom edges carry across seamlessly. So I want to make sure that this top one lines up with both of them line up, and they are kind of on the same. See, it's the same there. You know what I'm trying to say? The border is the same on both. This one is just a tiny bit crooked. Let me see if I can move that over just a tad. Let me try that again. And there we go. That's straighter. Okay, so now our base is done. Our coloring is done. Now what we're going to do from this point is we're going to attach our second Z. Now, when you do this, your goal here is to have equal borders here and here. You could do it like this if you wanted. If you wanted to show more of that paper, you could do it like this. I went with the equal borders, and you have a border on the top as well. Okay, so obviously you only want to put adhesive on this section that's on the red, right? So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to keep it just where it is, and I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to put some adhesive right about where I thought I needed it to be. So it's like halfway through and then on the edge. And holding this where I want it to go, I'm going to just swing it back and press. So that part is now sealed. Now I want this to make sure, I want to make sure that this folds correctly. So what I'm going to do is take my whole card and turn it upside down. Take the red flap, flip it over, and put my adhesive on this square here. Okay. And now holding this down, I'm going to bring this piece in and press, and there is my double Z fold. See that? Okay. So now that's done. We're going to put this aside, and we're going to do our additional stamping. Now I'm going to bring in my 2 pieces of Whisper White, and these are both cut at 3.5 by 3.5. One is going to go on the inside right here, and one is going to go on the outside right here. Now you can see that this one obviously is, this white is larger than this bottom green piece, but that's how it's supposed to be for this particular card. Okay, so we're going to leave that aside. Now we're going to do our stamping. On this piece right here, which is the inside, from the stamp set, we're going to use the sentiment that says, "That was so sweet of you." And I'm going to stamp that in real red. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to come down, straight down, straight up. I should have used my stamp pad, my stamping cushion there. So now I'm going to attach this to the inside of my card. Okay. Now this is all the easy stuff I just showed you. Now we have to make the outside of our card. Now the way I did it, I popped these up. And what I like is, if you look underneath there, you can still see the same, the outside of the strawberry. So I'm going to make my strawberries, punch them out, and then I'm going to come back and do the other stamping on that. So like I said, yesterday I posted a video and I showed you how to get this situated. And I strongly encourage you to go watch that video so that you can see how it is that I came about with these, this placement. So I have to ink these up, and I'm going to use sponge daubers to do that. So the first thing I'm going, oops, let me turn this around. The first thing I'm going to stamp is the background. So it's the solid colors, the solid stamps. Here it is. So the solid strawberry, the solid leaf, the solid flower, and the solid stem. So I'm going to take my Real Red, ink up my dauber, and I'm going to just pounce on that strawberry. Put that aside. Close my ink so I don't make a mess. I'm going to come in with Daffodil Delight. I'm going to ink up my dauber, and again, I'm going to just, I'm not using this flower in the on the card, but again, based on the video that I did yesterday, you'll see why I'm stamping it up. Now I have my old olive, and I'm going to come in and do the same to the leaf and to the stem of my strawberry. Now, since it's been a minute since I put the first layer of ink here, I'm going to huff on this so that it reactivates the ink. And now I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to press. Let me bring this down so that I'm in view here. Okay, and now there it is, my first layer, the background layer of my stamps. And as I mentioned, this stamp set has the variegation in it, so you can see that it's not a solid color. It has different shading to it. So I'm going to turn this plate over because on the other side I have set up the detailed part of the fruit. So I'm going to come in again with my old olive, and I'm going to ink up the leaf and the stem. Then with my Daffodil Delight, I'm going to come in and ink up my flower. And finally, with the Real Red, I'm going to ink up the strawberry. And just like last time, because it's been a minute, I'm going to huff on these. And now I'm going to stamp. And I must mention that the Stamparatus, because I'm using photopolymer stamps, I did use the mat that goes underneath it. So there you can see, because I set up my stamps ahead of time and I use the Stamparatus, I have perfect imaging. So now I'm going to push that all aside. And I'm going to bring in the punch. Now, I'm going to put this into the punch and line it up. And again, I really, really encourage you to watch yesterday's video so you can see how this was set up, so that you only have to punch once. And it saves you paper and it saves you time. So here we go. We have strawberry with its stem. We have a leaf and a flower. Now I need 2 of these, and I already made one before, so to save us some time. Now I'm going to come back in. Where did I put that piece of, here it is. My white, that is, did I say 3 1/4 by 3 1/4? Hold on one sec. Oh my goodness, 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. This is the front of my card. So And here it is right here. Now remember, I said I wanted to have the image on the bottom of my popped up strawberry. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to my stamp apparatus, and I'm going to mount this strawberry, a solid strawberry, on a block. And with my real red, I'm going to stamp the strawberry once, and then twice, overlapping them. Okay, so that's the background of my stamp. Now with my Old Olive, I'm going to come in with the thank you stamp that's in the stamp set. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that right down here. And I really should have my paper piercer here because I'm using photopolymer. Okay, and there's my thank you. I want to attach this to my front piece. And because the white stamped piece is larger than this flap here, I only want adhesive on this green part here. So I'm going to bring in my stamp and seal, and I'm going to apply my adhesive. And now when I place this down, I want this white to be right above that white. So I'm going to line up those corners, and then I'm going to come back, and if I did my cutting right, I'll still have the same equal border around. So see how that goes? Okay, so now we have to attach our strawberries. First thing I'm going to do is bring in my trusty glue pen. I love this glue pen. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on the green leaves and press. And then I'm going to do the same with the other one. Boy, this feels like it's a really long video. I hope you're still with me. And press that there. Now I'm going to attach them with some glue dots. And for the first one, I'm going to put 3 glue dots. I mean, I have mini dimensionals, excuse me, not glue dots. Oh, jeez, Anna. Okay. I take those off. And I'm going to line that up with this image right here. And then I'm going to press. And adding this on the bottom of it is just a little extra something that I like to do. Now this one here, I don't want to put a dimensional over here because then it'll be all wonky. I want it to lay flush with the first one. So I'm going to only put my dimensionals here and here. Okay? So top corner and bottom. Geez, bottom. And I'm going to line it up over that and drop it down. Now the final thing I'm going to do is add some ribbon. Now this ribbon, it's very old. It's real red, and it's a taffeta, but it's kind of like a faded taffeta. And I thought that played nicely with the different shading of all the stamping that I did. Unfortunately, this is not available anymore, and I know I really shouldn't use products that are unavailable in case you wanted them, but I just thought it went so well I had to do it. So I'm going to take that, bring it over to the white, and just tie a knot. Okay, now obviously I've cut my ribbon too long, so I'm going to trim my tails here. Now because this ribbon is on this part right here, we do want to make sure that's secure so that it doesn't come off. So now I'm going to take a glue dot. Oh, let me use a pair of scissors. Take a glue dot, and I'm going to put it right behind the knot of my ribbon. And there we have it. Double Z-fold card with the sweet strawberry bundle. Isn't that adorable? I just love it. And, there is a free, let me find my Celebration catalog. There is a free product that is available when you spend $100. It's the a double tier 2 Celebration special, and it comes with the free product is a stamp set and this this berry paper. I could have used this berry paper, obviously, for the back part here, but like I said, I wanted to showcase simply the stamp on this card and show you all the great things you could do with just the stamp, even if you didn't have the paper. So if you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products I used, please contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with whom you work, certainly let me know, and I'll be glad to pop a catalog in the mail to you if you'd like. Thanks so much. I'll catch you back here tomorrow. Thanks.